She only likes me when she's drunk. She only likes me when she's faded. She only likes me when she's on her back with a bottle of Jack, and she knows I can never get enough. Oh yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the official Kandy Podcast. My name is Ron Kuchler. I'm the editor and founder-in-chief of Kandy Magazine. I'm joined this week with my co-founder of Kandy, Steve Squally, and we have a very special guest, a very long time friend of Kandy and me, Pasquale Romano. Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey, doing great, Ron.
Yep, doing good on my end here in Vegas.
So I wanted to introduce Squally real quick. Squally and I go back about 15 years. That's his nickname. And Steve and I think we go back. What do we go back, Steve? 20 years?
Yeah, we're somewhere there. We're somewhere there.
Yeah, somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 years. And but all three of us are hockey guys, and the hockey season started yesterday. And your Penguins got off to a good start there, Pasquale.
Yes, they did. And, obviously I was quite nervous coming into this year. We've kind of started going downhill a little bit, players getting older, changes have been made, but it was definitely a great start to a new season.
Yeah, off to a good start. I think it was a 6-2 win over Tampa as the defending champs. And how's our Blackhawks looking out there in Chicago, Steve?
I think we're going to be good. We got Fleury in the goal now, and now we got Jonathan Toews back. We got Alex DeBrincat. I got the cat there with hooking up with Patrick Kane, on the forward side. So we're excited, man. We're really excited.
Yeah, a little drama around Dylan Strowman, I'm seeing, though, huh?
Always.
Is he not that good a player? I don't know much about the guy, so
I don't know much about him either, Ron, to be honest with you.
Well, you guys know I'm a big Rangers fan, and man, I just love the Rangers. But yesterday, they just threw a wrench into my season where we had this kid, Vitaly Krasov, who was supposed to be like front line, top line player, and they tried to sit him down to the waivers, and he declined, and it just blew up. So he asked for a trade. So now we're just in meltdown mode going into today's game against the Capitals. So it's got my angst up, to say the least. But anyway,
yeah, we got Colorado tonight, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, that'll be a good game. I'm looking forward to watching both games, tonight. So it'll definitely be a good thing. So Pasquale, let's go way back to your beginnings here. Okay, let's go back to when I first met you in Vegas. I know you're from Pittsburgh originally, right?
Yep, correct.
Okay. Are you from the city proper or the suburbs?
I'm about 35 minutes north of Pittsburgh.
Okay. Good family background as far as family, neighborhood, and roots, big Italian roots, I think, if I remember right.
Yeah, correct. The little town that I grew up in was a very strong community of Italians and Lebanese, believe it or not. And a lot of people immigrated from Italy. They ended up in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, because, believe it or not, we are the fire capital of America. That's where Vitale fireworks came from and Zambelli fireworks came from. And so a lot of work was there at that time.
Oh, okay. Steve, you got some Italian roots, right?
Yeah, well, hence the nickname Beef. My great-great-grandfather's first cousin, Pasquale Scala, was known to be the originator of the Italian beef sandwich. He did sausage and beef. He had a little cart that he'd push around, in the neighborhoods. And back in the day, he was the original purveyor of the thin roasted Italian beef that our other partner, Billy Nache, is known for at his Wise Guys restaurants across Texas, but it's that Chicago-style roast Italian beef. The namesake, my great uncle Pasquale was one of the original founders of that back in the day, back in the 30s.
Oh my God, what a small world! I had no idea. I just learned two things about you, and then how it crosses over with Pasquale is just
pretty wild.
It is pretty wild. So Pasquale, when you went to Vegas, you were a host. I remember at Palms, and then you moved over to Caesars. And
correct.
From what I recall, just the time I spent there with your amazing hospitality, I would cross paths occasionally, thanks to you, with celebrities from time to time.
Yep.
Who was the most accommodating celebrity that you ever hosted?
Oh man, that's a pretty tough one. Honestly, I never personally had really any bad experiences that I could remember. I would probably have to say I would probably have to say, believe it or not, Justin Timberlake was really cool. But then again, I was a pretty big fan of his, so I could be biased there.
Right.
But he was really cool at that moment. Another one that I really remember very clearly was, believe it or not, Jennifer Love Hewitt. I had the hugest crush on her in 8th grade.
Nice.
And even younger, I actually wrote her a love letter in 7th grade. I mailed it. I don't know who got that letter, but the to be able to fast forward and actually take care of her in person and be her host was pretty surreal, honestly.
Oh my gosh. Was that at Moon or Caesars?
That was actually at Rain nightclub in one of the skyboxes. I don't know if you've ever had a skybox, Ron. You remember on the 3rd floor, they were the ones that kind of overlooked the nightclub. They were very private. At that time, Vegas, people in general, I don't think were as vain as they are today with social media. So everybody used to want to be hidden when they used to go to the nightclub. Now they want to be seen. But those were like the spots to be.
Well, if you remember me, we liked that little table off to the side there.
Yep, VIP room. I remember
that was our spot. Remember that, Beef?
It was amazing. And you know what I particularly remember about that spot? One of the coolest, awesome gentle giants, this gentleman named Lynchfield. He went by Lynchfield. He was our private security guard the night that we were there, kind of talking about the foundation of Kandy Magazine, Ron. And Lynchfield could not have been a nicer guy. Just if we needed to get, to the restroom or get a drink or whatever, he'd be like, "Come with me, sir." Like a big Shaquille. He was like, Lynchfield and Shaq were probably they're like pretty equals in terms of stature, but man, what a gentle giant. But what great staff at that place. It was amazing.
It really was, man. That was, to me, that was, for me personally, obviously, that was the golden years of Vegas for me.
I definitely could see it, and I loved it. I look forward to our trips. I look forward to the hospitality that you extended our way, and it was just, I was a big Moon guy, but I always remember just when we went to Rain, we got that one table right there, and it was just like, this is it. This is where we're camping, and we're just sitting here looking and stuff like that, and it was just an amazing time. But eventually, you went over to. You did go over to Caesars at some point. Was that when the Palms got sold, or is that?
Yeah, well, I was there during that transition, but I kind of saw the writing on the wall. It was changing hands. Things were changing. I was getting a little bit older, and then I was starting to actually teeter about maybe potentially moving back to the East Coast or even a Miami move at that time. I was trying to figure out my next move, and I didn't really know what I was going to do. I just was kind of over the nightlife at that point. And then an old friend of mine who was the Palms face at the time, John Gray, who's a really good friend of mine, started working on this project, The Link, at Caesars Entertainment. And he basically gave me he heard I was potentially moving. He said, "I don't think it's time for you to move out of here yet." And then he proposed me this idea to start and create a whole new division within Caesars Entertainment, which focused on non-gaming. And that's kind of how I headed over there.
So you kind of spearheaded this whole new division?
I was actually I actually spearheaded the whole thing, and we created a VIP lifestyle services team that basically catered to the non-gaming customer. As non-gaming continued to grow throughout the city, Caesars found that they weren't reinvesting into these customers. So they basically brought me on board with John Gray, a few other consultants, to kind of figure out how do we invest into somebody who's spending $20,000 on a suite, $6,000 at a nightclub table, a $600 dinner, where back in the day they would never even really the individual restaurant or nightclub would take care of those people, but as a company, a hotel, they never reinvested into those people before.
That's
right.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Because, you get these points on your card for the money you spent. The room and the restaurants and the nightclub, you spend a day at the pool. It's easy to drop $1,000.
Absolutely, and you don't gamble.
Without getting a cabana, you can still drop $1,000. So that's very innovative on your part to say.
Yeah,
to say the least.
And let me just elaborate real quick too. I obviously wanted added nightlife, but what this position actually did for me was like a hybrid. I was able to kind of dabble in nightlife and still get my fix and keep those relationships, but I didn't have to stay up till 4 or 5 in the morning every single night. So it was really a nice transition.
Sweet little life balance finally, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's definitely nice. but eventually, things at Caesars, they kind of had some bankruptcy problems, and then you moved on. You start your own little juice bar there, huh?
Crazy. Yeah. I mean, it actually started happening. I was trying to figure out, I wanted to do my own thing. And I finally had this vision of what I wanted to do, an actual passion project. I didn't just want to open anything. So something I always wanted to do for the last 5 to 10 years was have my own business, but I didn't just want to open up anything. So I started planning it. It was actually COVID. COVID actually kind of pushed me out the door of Caesars. Once COVID hit, and then the convention started getting canceled and all that stuff started trickling down, I knew I was done. I saw the writing on the wall. So they ended up, laying me off, and they obviously transitioned into new ownership. And at that point, it gave me 100% focus on my new business, which looking back on it was probably the best thing that could have ever happened.
Yeah, and it's called Squally's Cafe. Is that the name of the business?
Yep, Squally's Cafe. It is a health and wellness cafe, juice bar, smoothie, shakes, acai bowls, light snacks, sandwiches, and all that good stuff.
How did you get interested in that?
So about 5 years ago, I met my business partner. Her name is Alina, and she's the one who actually created the menu there. She's a holistic health coach and a certified nutritionist. And about 5 years ago, I was having minor health issues, and it was really from poor dieting. Obviously, having a few drinks here and there, staying up late, going out to dinner all the time. She basically changed my life with food. And from that moment on, I was like, we got to do something together. She had these healthy waffles, was introducing me superfoods like maca, blue spirulina, camu camu, all these things that are basically like medicine. And literally it changed everything. I became happier. I slept better. Just my whole overall mood changed. And from that point, I said, we got to do something together and make a difference. And that's kind of how it happened.
Wow. And I mean, your plans are to grow this. You're not planning on just one store, right?
No, absolutely. Yeah, we definitely want to grow this one store at a time. Obviously, with everything that we're still experiencing in the country, it's kind of been in slower gear, but I do believe we have something special here, so we definitely want to grow it.
Yeah, you got a nice little logo, nice little brand. So that's always good for expansion and whatnot. So, and you obviously, like you said, you just talked about, you launched this business in the middle of COVID.
Yeah, no, I kind of had no choice. Now, I obviously signed my LOI back in August of 2019. Construction started in October. We were slated to open up in March, April, and then obviously COVID came and the pandemic began sometime in March. I can't remember. But, I had no choice, to be honest with you, but we made it work.
And as things have gone back to normal, have you seen an uptick in business?
It's been the summer was really good. And then going into winter, it's kind of been like so up and down, which I guess is kind of normal for local business. But honestly, I think there's an appetite for people that want to go out again. So, I definitely think it's gotten better.
Okay. Well, that's good. Good to know. And with this extra free time and not these crazy hours that you're putting in it, and as a VIP host, you got interested in crypto and NFTs.
I sure did. I definitely got interested in Bitcoin a little while back, and then obviously the NFTs have really got my interest.
Steve introduced us to Bitcoin. Was it a year ago, Steve? I think when we first talked about it.
A couple of years ago, we were playing around and just, kind of reading, just going through the white papers and trying to get a grasp on application and, what this whole thing was about. And I remember, when I was kind of shooting you some text and stuff and we were looking at the numbers, you're just like, oh, this is crazy. It's like $4,000. I'm like, Ron, this is nothing, man. It was funny. It was funny in hindsight. It's pretty crazy, right?
Well, I didn't get it because there's nothing behind it back. I like there's nothing behind this, and we had to come on the podcast to talk about it. And Lori and I were just like, Steve, I don't get it. There's nothing behind it. What's backing it? There's nothing.
I just kept preaching decentralization and it's this and that, and you can't mess around with this and look at the inflation and look at all this money we're printing and the world is crazy. I go, Ron, there's something here, man.
Yeah. So Pasquale, what's it at now?
Right now, it's at last time I looked this morning, it was at 57,000 and some change. pretty crazy, right? It's
I should have done something when it was
I know.
cool.
Listen, I was in the same boat as you guys about 5 years ago. If I would have just put $100 down 5 years ago, I'd be in a good spot. So I mean, it's shoulda, coulda, woulda.
I don't know if either one of you guys remember this gentleman. His name was Scott Evans. He was a friend of mine, tall guy, skinny, bit of a interesting character. He passed away a couple of years ago. But 10 years ago, when I was doing some contract work for him, he brought up Bitcoin to me. You know, he's like, "You got to look at this Bitcoin." I go, "I don't get it." He goes, "It's a digital currency." I go, "Yeah, but I don't get it." He goes, "It's a digital currency. I've got these friends of mine they're in it, you know, and it's like $25 for a coin or something stupid like that." And he wound up, I think he wound up buying hundreds of coins. And as you guys know, I think Bitcoin is tied to a key. You actually have to have some sort of key to access it, right, on a computer or your phone.
Well, it's depending on what wallet you're using and what application, but there is hard storage and cold storage. And if he put it in cold storage, who knows where that could be at this point.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to it, but anyway, he passed away, and with it, I think I'm sure he never did anything with it, hundreds of coins, which is probably worth a couple $1 million now.
You guys want to hear a fun statistic? That's a fact. There's about 4 to 5.
Okay, so we've even experienced technical problems. We're going to try this one last time here. Pasquale was telling us there's 4 to 5 million coins lost. I asked him how many coins that are still out there, and I believe the answer is 21 million, right, Pasquale?
That is correct.
So that's what, Steve, 20 to 25% somewhere in that, of the total amount?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm frazzled now.
Yeah.
A little frazzled with everything. Yep.
Somewhere in 20, 25% of the total amount lost, gone forever. So obviously with a fixed supply, this thing could go up and up and up and up. So
that's crazy. It's 23%.
One other question on cryptos. What else are you looking at, Pasquale? Not an investor advisor or anything like that, or an investment advice, but what else are you in?
So I recently just bought into Shiba Inu, and that's doing really well for me. I have some Ethereum, some Cardano, some Solana. I even have some Cosmos. I got some Dogecoin and some Polymatic. I have a few, yeah.
So we actually, when Steve and I, back in February, we started looking at the NFT game, and we were looking at Ethereum. Steve, what was it back then?
I think it was probably about 1,600, I believe, Ron, correct? I mean, we're under 2,000.
It was less than that. It was like 1,200 or something like that.
Right.
And then it just shot up because when we were looking at putting the deal together, we were looking at doing everything in crypto. We were looking at the money that was going to come in to help build it in crypto, and the money that was going to go out and paying the programmers was going to be in crypto, and it went from that number 1,200 to 1,600 like in a matter of a month, and then it shot to 2,400, and it shot to it was like there's one weekend where it just went through the roof.
Yep.
Yeah, that was April, I remember, because we were down in I think we're talking in February about 1,500, and then I know that April spike was 227. I mean, it was like hit almost $4,000 in May.
Yeah, it just blew everything we were doing right out of the water. We were like, well, that kind of screws up our whole business plan model for what we were going to do. Because who saw that coming? We didn't see that coming because it was a slow, gradual growth, but never anticipated a 200 to 300% jump like it experienced. So
crazy.
It's kind of crazy. So you got into NFTs. How long ago did you get into NFTs there, Pasquale?
So about 2.5, 3 months ago, I really started diving into it.
And how did you come across it?
So I heard about it, obviously, in the beginning of the year. I heard about these crypto punks, and just like everybody else, I thought it was stupid. I'm like, why are people selling these JPEGs for $80,000? Didn't even want to entertain the idea. And then a friend of mine, who I actually met face-to-face, started explaining it a little bit more in detail. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. And then I just went from there and went down the rabbit hole, basically.
So for two people that are looking to get into the space, NFTs, what are the two things they need to know?
Well, first of all, they should definitely tread lightly. It is a wild, wild space. It moves at lightning speeds. I have a hard time keeping up. I'm trying to learn something new every single day. And right now, the hot thing right now are the collections, and the collections are based off of community driven and utility behind it. And now it's starting to even transition into the metaverse, which is crypto gaming. And that is where I believe the big money is going to be.
Steve, you brought up gaming about a month ago with me, did you not? Where you were thinking about that?
Yeah, we were kind of thinking about, different things we can do. And I kind of was just on Discord and on, just following different, Instagram and Twitter feeds. And there was an abundance of people kind of concentrating on kind of cool NFTs where they were able to use like kind of like an anime name and likeness as an avatar in games, or different types of weapons or different things that could be, you would have this unique non-fungible token, but you would own that and be able to bring that into different, I guess what would you call it, Pasquale, like the metaverse? I mean, I'm not, is that kind of what it's about? You own this asset and you can actually use it online.
Yeah, just think about this. Think about this podcast we're having. When the metaverse really goes full force here, we can use our avatars and have our podcast in the metaverse on a beach somewhere. It's pretty wild to think about. I know it's confusing to a lot of people, but that's where they're going with it.
Bitcoin's up to 57,000. I just got a text.
Yeah.
That's what you call utility, right?
Yeah, that's the utility behind it. I mean, there's people right now making anywhere from $300 to $500 a day in NFT gaming. They're now providing passive income opportunities. I mean, it's just a really wild space. But as awesome as that all sounds, I mean, people are also losing their ass too. So it's definitely not. Like I said, you have to tread lightly, and you really have to know what you're doing.
Well, it's just like the stock market. When there's a stock transaction, there's a buyer and a seller. There's somebody on the winning side and there's somebody on the losing side of it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing. And Steve knows that space very, very well. So we dabbled in it 6 months ago, 7 months. Yeah, 7 months ago. We dabbled in it with trading cards for models and stuff like that, just to try to get an understanding of it. But we didn't really understand the community or the utility behind it, and we didn't really understand the definition of what those were until you explained it to me a couple of weeks ago. So now we have a better understanding of what community is and utility is. So I think we're going to circle back on bombshells and take another look at what we can do with that. So
absolutely.
And you're talking about doing your own NFT play. Is that right, Pasquale?
Yeah, I want to. And that's what really intrigued me. It wasn't necessarily about the art. I got into that part of it because it was a little bit fun, and I really wanted to just dive in and see what this was all about. But for me, I was thinking about, wow, this is going to change the way we market our businesses, the way we buy and sell goods. This is why I really wanted to get involved in it. So this is something I'm going to work with a few friends of mine who are designers, web designers, and try to figure out how can I create some form of NFT platform for Squally's Cafe. Absolutely. It's definitely something I'm going to do.
That's fantastic. Well, good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good luck with that. So just to wrap up, because like I said, we're almost done here. If somebody's looking to get into the NFT space right now, what's one or two NFTs that you like and that maybe you could tell them to take a look at and do their own research on?
No, absolutely. The one that I'm really got my eyes on right now is it's called the Party Ape Billionaires Club, and it's really cool. It's got a huge following. Their roadmap is really attractive, and they're going to offer opportunities for passive income as well as the gaming aspect of it. That one, if anybody's out there listening, the Party Ape Billionaires Club, you can follow them on Twitter. I think Twitter is the encyclopedia to all this. You start with Twitter, and from there they'll lead you to their Discord, to their Instagram, to their roadmap, and their website, and that's how you start. That one there, and then there's another one too that I really am into. It's the Moon Boys. The Moon Boys are starting to really get some action here as their floor price is slowly increasing as they're starting to release some of their utility. Those two there, I'm really big fans of.
Okay, well, great invoice.
Yeah.
We'll definitely check those out. I know Steve and I have already checked out Moon Boy, so
Yeah.
They've done some unique things in the space that we don't quite understand how they're doing it.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Hidden drops. They don't. I mean, it's just like how do you do that? So it's like you said, it's like buying a pack of baseball cards, but you don't know what's inside the pack. You know.
You're just hoping you're getting that Wayne Gretzky rookie card. That's what you're.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
No idea how they do that in the space. We got to figure that out. So. Well, that's fantastic, Pasquale. It was great catching up with you. And Steve, got anything you want to wrap on?
No, that's it, man. This was really fun, Pasquale. Nice it's been a while since I've spoken with you. It's very cool. I'm so excited about the cafe, and God bless and all the best to you, man.
I appreciate it. This was extremely fun, and we should definitely do it again soon. And it was a good time. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Where can they follow the cafe online?
So it's at Squally's Cafe, and that's SQUALLYS Cafe. That's our Instagram page, our Twitter, our Facebook, the website's squallyscafe.com. If you're ever in Vegas, anybody, come check us out, especially after all the partying. We do have specific food items that will help your hangover.
Well, I follow it online, and it looks delicious. All the different smoothies and the different food items that you show online. So I look forward to being out there again soon and checking it out. So
that's great. Me too.
All right. Once again, thank you everybody for listening. And Squally, it's great catching up with you. And we look forward to doing this again in the future and bringing people up to date on the progress that you're making on the NFT front and what progress Steve and I've made on the NFT front, because we're very excited. We're very excited about the space.
Perfect.
All right, everybody. Everybody have a good day. Take care.
You too. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
She only likes me when she's drunk. She only likes me when she's faded.